Wonder Woman, Wonder Vlog. Hey everybody, it's Small GK. I haven't done a Wonder Vlog in a while. It's been a couple months, right? So I thought I'd do a new Wonder Vlog. Hello, J.L. Thorpe. This is from that nice Wonder Woman book that you got me. And you got me so that I could use it for vlogs, for more Wonder Vlogs, which was so thoughtful. That was such a nice present, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm using it and that I didn't want you to think that I'd forgotten it, because it was a very nice thing, nice gesture. JL Thorpe's terrific. You guys should follow JL on Twitter, and he's a great Tea Party guy, Palin guy. He's a, like an online activist, Twitter guy. He's always there with a sharp remark. He's been on my show a couple of times too, and he'll be on it again. How's everybody doing? This is a big weekend for Palin supporters. I'm recording this Monday afternoon after the big weekend, and so much happened. I mean, if Sarah Palin's birthday is the least of the events for Palinista, that means it was a big weekend. I mean, there was a lot going on, and the CPAC speech was sensational. You know what? I just tweeted this on Twitter. I just have this feeling that a lot of people really didn't know Sarah Palin before. I think even people in the establishment didn't really know Sarah Palin before, because I thought the speech was good, don't get me wrong, but I thought she's given dozens of speeches that were just as effective because she's that good. And I thought it was excellent, but to me, her greatest speech is the Iowa speech that I urge all of you to listen to. It's on YouTube, the Iowa Labor Day speech from last year. It was a game changer, no pun intended. That speech was just mind-blowing, because she really, that speech brought Palin up to a new level. And this one was great because it exposed her to a wider audience. It's kind of funny that someone who was a vice presidential nominee needs that. But I think a lot of people, judging from some of the responses, especially from the rhinos, I think it's the first speech that they've really listened to of hers since the last convention, the vice presidential acceptance speech, which was also a game changer. And I think that's great. I mean, maybe now they like she went to the belly of the beast, the belly of the establishment. That's what I mean, the GOP establishment, CPAC. And she more than held her own. She topped everybody. And then at a convention where prior to her appearance, the only bright light was Andrew Breitbart. Newt was great, of course. But overall, it seemed like it was kind of like a laid-back kind of CPAC this year. I saw Ann Coulter, who I swear to God, Ann Coulter needs to be, what do they call it, reimagined. Like, they need to get the people who did the new Battlestar Galactica to reimagine Ann Coulter. She needs a reboot. Maybe they need a new actress to play the part. I don't know. Another dress. I would say a new dress, but just something else besides that dress would help. She was there, and whatever. I don't want to get into that any further. I think I mentioned it before, but I can't resist. I'm sorry. So Palin's speech at CPAC was terrific, and I'm really glad that a lot of people finally know what the excitement is about, frankly. Even the AP had to admit that she's the most influential politician in the world. This is something that I realized when I was watching the response to that speech. The reason why so many leftists who call themselves feminists, and I don't consider them real feminists because I think a real feminist would be concerned about all women, no matter what their political party, or if they believed in choice, or if they believed in life. I would think that they would be concerned about a woman, but they tend to be very partisan, and particular about only being concerned about women who have liberal Democrat politics. But I think the thing that gets them is that she's so obviously a once-in-a-generation political talent, and that they know that the response is genuine. And even with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, a lot of it was based on identity politics, that you were supposed to like them. And with Sarah Palin, you just do. and it's because of her incredible political savvy, her incredible charisma, and her just, her realness, her appeal, and her leadership ability. And, it shines through, and people respond in a completely natural way. I mean, to me, Palin's like a political Elvis, I mean, it's a game changer. Her existence is a game changer. I have so much Palin stuff to talk about, you guys. So then she did the morning shows because she was in Washington and burned everything up. Burned up Mitt Romney, burned up everything, left, right, and below the belt, everywhere. She just was like, everywhere she was burning up everything. It was a sensational weekend for her, and I was thrilled. So then I find out about this movie that Bank of Kev has been talking about. This movie that I started following and promoting on Facebook. Well, just like I was just excited about it, and I was like saying, I really want to see this. I really want to see this, and posting pictures of it and stuff. The movie is called Iron Sky, and you know that I'm into diesel punk. I like diesel punk because it's kind of like alternate futures based on 30s and 40s, and it just, to me, and early 50s, and I really like it because I get to pretend that the 60s never happened. That there was never a hippie movement that destroyed America. And so it's a lot of fun. And this is kind of a diesel punk movie in that it imagines what would have happened if at the end of World War II, the Nazis, because it was rumored that the Nazis had a space program, This movie imagines that a group of Nazis blasted off from the Antarctic just before the end of World War II and started a lunar colony, hello Newt Gingrich, started a lunar colony on the dark side of the moon and have now reached the point, it takes place like 6 years in the future, I'll get to that in a second, have now reached the point where they are leading an invasion of planet Earth. So the Nazis from back in the 40s survived on the moon in lunar colonies and are now invading the Earth. And it's a comedy. But of course, this is a Palin blog, so how could it have anything to do with Sarah Palin? Well, here's how it has to do with Sarah Palin. The president 5 years from now is a Sarah Palin type president. Now, okay, this is a comedy, this is a satire, and they satirized a possible Sarah Palin presidency. Now, of course, her name isn't Sarah Palin, it'll be something else, but she's a Sarah Palin type. And the humor is sort of Tina Fey, but a little bit broader and not as petty, you know what I mean? And here's the good part, okay? Sarah Palin leads the Earth in fighting the Nazis from outer space in this movie. And the great thing about this movie, you guys, okay, it's so wild and so funny and outrageous, right? The great thing about this movie is it was funded by people online who wanted them to make it, and it's being promoted by people like me who just think it's a great idea. And guess what? It's a hit. It's a hit now in Europe. It's a hit at the Berlin Film Festival. And so then guess what? So then Bank of Kev sent me a link. Guess who's promoting it here in the United States? Breitbart. There's an article about it on Breitbart.com. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Bank of Kev is a must-follow, another must-follow. I just, I'm thrilled because I think it's, the thing I love about it is it's pure creativity. It's fresh. Hollywood just keeps doing more Battlestar Galactica or What If Battlestar Galactica were Ann Coulter's, And this is like a fresh, funny idea, It's like, what would happen if the Nazis had survived into the future and, they're on the moon, and it's Sarah Palin. It's kind of everything we're kind of buzzing about, and And they're just a bunch of creative people who got together and they made a movie that people are actually talking about. And that's what capitalism should be. Hello. So just when you think the weekend can't get any better, I think I might have mentioned this on the show. I took the radio show down this weekend because no one listened to it and it wasn't that great. And I was competing with Whitney Houston coverage, and I just said, this is not appropriate at this time. So I thought I'd strike back later, and I am. Guess who a member of the Small G Gay News team made personal contact with this past weekend? Well, that would be Kyle Raccio, who you should also follow on Twitter. Proud co-host and member of the new Small G Gay team. He made personal contact with a woman that some of you Palenistas may be familiar with. Her name is Bristol Palin. And Kyle met her in Washington this weekend, and he passed a personal message to Bristol, and guess what? Bristol says hi. Isn't that awesome? I know. I'm just thrilled, though. I'm just thrilled. So the weekend was sensational. I mean, heck, brokered convention, I'm there. I mean, whatever it takes to get Palin the presidency. You know, I wasn't big on the earthquake thing because I wasn't going to send like a love letter to Santa. But if we're talking brokered convention, that leads to a real-world possibility. I'm all for it. You know, and if not, 2016, we'll see what happens. I love you, Newt. I love you, Newt. I want Newt to win. That's another path to Palin. I love the idea of Newt winning so that he can put her in the cabinet. But we're going to make this woman president. We're going to make Sarah Palin. Okay, look. We made Iron Sky a cult hit out of nothing. And now we're going to make Sarah Palin president of the United States. Small G Gay out of time. Thanks for listening, Wonder fans. Bye.